Hey, welcome back. I'm Alaina. How to set business goals and achieve them. The traditional way of setting business goals in your business is going to make you work so much harder than you have to. And in this video, I'm going to show you a much easier way, so stay tuned. I'm going to show you why the traditional way of setting business goals isn't really effective at all. Next, I'm going to reveal the one thing that you need to be doing in your business to achieve success and abundance. Then I'm going to uncover the type of action you need to start taking right now. Plus, I'm going to show you how to identify and then let go of what's no longer serving the growth of your business. By the end of this video, you're going to be able to acknowledge and celebrate yourself, even if you're not exactly where you want to be in your business. So let's dive right in. So as a business coach, I've been coaching entrepreneurs for almost 9 years now, and I used to help people set goals and then help them reverse engineer them so they could start accomplishing them. However, this is going to be maybe a controversial thing. The idea of goals themselves actually come from the ego mind. You have this infinite, all-knowing part of yourself, and I call it your higher self. You can call it your inner being, you could call it your soul, you can call it your superconscious mind, whatever you want to call it. Some people even call it God. But it's this all-knowing part of ourselves. This all-knowing part already knows what we need to do for the highest good to move forward for the life that we want to experience. Actually, to be honest, even better than the life that we think we can have, it wants us to have even more than that. And so the idea of I'm going to focus on that goal and I'm going to go for that is just your subconscious mind creating an idea of what it thinks success is and then trying to project that into your future. So one of the things that I have my clients do, because I teach them how to tap into their intuition, how to tap into their superconscious mind to begin with, is I have them tap in and go, what's in my highest good to create? What's in my highest good to focus on and put my energy towards? And now what you're doing is essentially you're aligning with yourself, you're aligning with your path and with a much greater success than you think you can even have. So the traditional way of goal setting, as I said, it comes from an ego perspective, but there's a much more empowered way that you can start creating even greater success. Now, here's the thing, everything is really energy, right? Even us, we are 0.00001% matter. 99.9999% of us is energy. Everything is made up of energy. You know, the dress that I'm wearing, the mic that I'm talking through, you know, my laptop, everything is made up of energy, and all energy carries information. Ideas are energy also, and ideas carry information too. And because you're creating ideas, oftentimes, most people are creating ideas from the ego mind that I talked about. Some of those ideas might not even be for you. And when we try to bring an idea to fruition, when we try to make an idea happen that actually isn't in our highest good, that wasn't really intended to us, but that may be based on what society told us success means, then it makes it really hard to bring it to life. Right? It makes it really hard to bring it to fruition. It's heavy lifting and it's constant hustle and hard work because that idea might not actually be for us to begin with. So often people, when they're setting goals, they decide what they want, they decide the plan, they start taking action, they set it up in their planner. But what if you could just tap into your intuition? On demand, you have the access. This literally is asking a question and receiving an answer, and get the answer you needed of what would be in my highest good to focus on. What ideas am I meant to bring to life? What ideas do my business want to magnetize right to me? And how much easier that would actually be. Then once you get clarity on what those ideas are, share it with your team and enroll them into the process. Team love when they're involved in the process and not just being told what to do in a role or task. So make sure you enroll your team in the vision of the ideas to begin with. Now, here's the thing. When most people start, even when they're working with their intuition, there's a tendency in the human to want to know the entire how. How am I going to accomplish this? Okay, now I've gotten the idea from my intuition, or I have this idea that I want to bring to life. How am I actually going to accomplish it? And the how ends up taking us out because we keep searching for the how, and a lot of times people don't want to take the action that they really need to take because they're waiting for the full how to come to them. And the reason this happens is because we're accustomed to wanting certainty. Uncertainty feels really unsafe to us. You have this comfort zone. I'll call this your comfort zone. It's like a hamster wheel over here. You keep going around and around in the comfort zone. And every time you step out of that comfort zone, which is where what you want is, nothing that you want is really in your comfort zone. Everything you want is outside of your comfort zone. And when you start to step outside of your comfort zone, this is the unknown and uncertain area, and it freaks the subconscious mind out, because the subconscious mind's number one job is to keep you alive, right? And it doesn't know if you're going to survive when you step out into uncertainty. It doesn't know if you're going to be dead. It self-sabotages you to bring you back into your comfort zone. So one of the keys to understand is just take the first step, and then the next step will always be revealed. And especially when you're working with your intuition, it's really clear to understand what that next step actually is. One of the keys to make this come to fruition is not being attached to the outcome. What happens when you're attached to the outcome is you actually repel it from you. So you think that focusing on it and wanting it and needing it may even bring it closer to you, but want and need are signs to the universe that you don't believe you have it in the first place. And when you don't believe you have something, the universe gives you more of that wanting and needing. It doesn't give you more of the thing you want and need. It gives you more of the wanting and needing. So it's actually repelling it from you. Stepping into non-attachment about the outcome will allow it to magnetize directly to you. I really love talking about how to tap into your intuition and superconscious mind, and how to create greater success in your business with ease. So like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of the latest content that I'll be dropping. Now, the key is to take aligned action, be consistent, and stay committed. Oftentimes, one of the things that I see in so many of my clients is that they're not consistent in their action. They're very inconsistent with it. And that goes back to the self-sabotage that I was talking about earlier, because what happens is it feels really uncomfortable to hang out in this zone of uncertainty, but that's where you need to keep going. And when you're learning how to tune into your intuition and your superconscious mind and your higher self, and you develop trust in it, you know it's actually the safest thing that you could ever do is to be in that space, because your higher self will never lead you into an unsafe situation. It will never lead you down, a sketchy path. It just won't. It will always lead you to more life, more experience, more life, more expansion. And so leaning in and staying in that consistency in your action is key. You can't just be sitting, like I teach my clients how to clear a lot of their limiting beliefs and blocks so they can get out of their own way and stop being the bottleneck in their business. But you can't sit on your couch all day and just do the clearing work and expect that what you're going to want to experience is going to come to you. It's only 10% of the whole success piece, but action is a strong 10%. Now, when you take aligned and intelligent action, which does come from tapping into your intuition and your superconscious mind, your higher self, it allows that to magnify and get results so much faster. Here's a thing that I'm going to say that I also have my clients really look out for. It may come from stuff you've invested in the past, or it may even come from stuff you're investing in now. Let's say you're getting a project going and you put a lot of energy and even money into that project, but it's no longer in your highest good to do it. It's no longer aligned. Maybe you've up-leveled to a different level, and as a result, that project, which is down here in frequency, and now you're up here in frequency, is no longer in alignment. And the key is to be able to walk away from those kinds of projects. And that is so hard for entrepreneurs who've invested time and money into creating a project, because they're like, oh my God, if I just invest a little more money, then I'm going to be able to make this work. And it's like, it's not aligned with you anymore. I am sorry to say that. That's a big, hard, hairy pill to swallow, but it's not aligned with you anymore. And when things aren't aligned with us anymore, they cause us to go backwards when we focus on them rather than move forwards. They cause everything to feel challenging, struggle, bust, and difficult. And so letting go of those projects or even people that are no longer aligned with us are key to be able to create more ease. One of the things that I absolutely suggest for my clients, and it's the first thing that I have my clients do when they get on the phone with me, is acknowledge and celebrate. Acknowledge and celebrate every big and little thing that happens that is moving you to your process. Not even just the end results, but the process itself. I'm acknowledging that I was consistent today. I'm acknowledging that I took action today. I'm acknowledging even that I didn't get the result that I wanted, and I'm staying committed. Those are fantastic acknowledgments to make, and the more that you can acknowledge and celebrate, the more things you will actually have to acknowledge and celebrate. Like I was talking about, what you focus on, your energy grows, right? So where your focus goes, your energy grows. And so the more that you can keep your focus on things to acknowledge and celebrate, your energy will grow more things to acknowledge and celebrate. Now, I have a client whose biggest issue was actually repelling. She came to me because every time she'd set a goal, she would absolutely repel it. And the biggest reason she was doing it is because she was attached to all of her goals. And so literally, she'd start to focus on them, she'd start to take action, and it would seem like it would move further away, and it was. And she had to learn how to stay unattached to the goal and unattached from who she thought she was if she accomplished the goal. And the more that she could be unattached to those two things, the more she was able to magnetize exactly what she wanted. And she doubled her income while we were working together, working significantly less, and 3 times her prices in the process, and got it with ease. She was achieving goals like an A player. I mean, she was just on fire, and it's possible for you too. So if you really want to start working less, and one of the reasons I didn't cover it a lot in this video is because I have a fabulous free mini course that I'm offering to you that is literally the stuff that my high-end paying, like literally they pay me up to $50,000 to teach them this stuff, and I've condensed it into a mini course, so it's not going to have quite everything because that would take me hours, but it will help get you really started to help you shave hours off of your day. It's called 5 Ways to Shave 20 to 30 Hours Off of Your Work Week While Making More Money, and it's absolutely free, so make sure you register in the link below. Thanks, I'm Alaina, and I'll see you in the next video.